Well, the organization formed as a result of severe repression from the police, and we're talking about, roughing up vendors, throwing them to the ground, or just taking them to jail. Sometimes taking their money, and not giving them a ticket. So as a result, vendors started to organize themselves to fight these issues that they were facing, and also to advocate for themselves. To show the city, the positive aspects of vending, job creation, they buy locally, sell locally, the vendors live in the area. So there's such amazing things about, these informal networks of the economy that are created that create jobs, and promote movement within the local economy. So it was important for us to have a vehicle, an organization that would, defend the rights of the vendors as well as promote vending as a viable means of work for many people in New York.
Why are you, as a local grassroots movement, engaging with this greater global movement for migrant rights?
Well, our members come from all parts of Latin America. Vendors are coming from all parts of the world. It is the problems that we see around displacement globally. It's a global problem. And we. The transnational corporations, that influence a lot of policy has become very powerful and transnational. So the movement also needs to respond and become transnational. So that's why it's extremely important for us to come here to Stockholm, meet folks that are, organizing and start creating these networks where we can help each other out, exchange information, experiences, skills, in order to be able to support each other that way. So it's very important, the global aspect of the work. We are here also to explain that part as well, and why it is important that groups get involved in really participating in GFMD, the Global Forum on Migration and Development, through the PGA and other networks, to push the message to include human rights and to include things that we want, and not just that the corporations think is right.
If you could express one hope for the PGA to achieve something this year, what would that be?
One of the things that we would love to uplift is the migrant struggle that's happening here in Stockholm. I think for us it's extremely important for the PGA to support what's happening here and really give preference to the struggles of migrants here while we work to push what we feel is important in the GFMD, the Global Forum on Migration and Development. So yes, we'd love to uplift, the work of the Panthers, of the work of Megaphone, working in local communities. So I think that's really important around the PGA that we do this year here in Sweden.
Over in the States, there's a battle of immigration reform taking place in the U.S. Congress. What would be your hopes for the outcome as to this battle?
Well, I think immigration and what's happening in the U.S., it's step 7 or 8 out of 1 through 10, and we need to start looking at economic reform policies, international, like NAFTA, and that really displace workers from their countries and cause this migration. So a hope would be to that groups in the U.S. begin looking at that, economic restructuring that's going on globally, and then in the U.S. to fight for an amnesty, and migrants are victims of, an economic change that's happened, and they also need the protections and the services in order to be able to become productive members of society, education and all that. So it's important to include them as part of society, which hasn't been done in the U.S. It's a lot of segregation, a lot of marginalization. So my hope it is, to push as much as possible to bring that into reality.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.